Hello, welcome to our today's session about sentences, clauses, and phrases. Before we get started, we have to know the basic grammar terminology. The first part I have to know is the part of speech. As we said before, we have verb, it's an action or state. For example, when I say Peter ate dinner. So what did Peter do? Ate. So ate is the verb, is the action. It's the verb. Noun. The noun can be thing, person, or place. For example, the dog watched the squirrel. So dog and squirrel here is a noun. The adjective is the word that describes a noun. The hungry dog watched the gray squirrel. So dog, as we said, it's the noun. When I describe the dog that it is hungry, so hungry is a word that describes the dog. It's an adjective. Also, if we look at the word before squirrel, squirrel is a noun. So the word gray, it describes the squirrel, so it's an adjective. What about the adverb? The adverb describes a verb. So the hungry dog intently watched the gray squirrel. How did it watch the gray squirrel? It watched it intently. So it is describing the verb, the action. Like when I say he runs quickly. So how does he run? I'm describing quickly here is describing the verb runs. Then I have the pronoun. The pronoun is the word that I use to replace a noun. Like he, she, it, they, and so on. So he ate dinner. If I'm going to analyze this one, I'll say he is a pronoun, ate is a verb, and dinner is a noun. Then I have the next one is preposition. The preposition, it links a noun to another word. I gave a bone to the dog. I sit on the chair. So to, in, under, and so on, they are called prepositions. Then we have the conjunction. The conjunction joins clauses or words. When I say Peter read the paper and listened to the radio while he ate dinner. So the conjunction, we have and, while, or, but. It is used to join clauses or words or even sentences. What do you think? What makes a sentence? Peter ate dinner. So first I have Peter, which is the subject. The subject can be noun or pronoun that does an action or expresses a state of being. Ate, it's the verb which expresses the action or state of the subject. And then the last thing is object, which is noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb. So the doer is the subject, the verb is the action, and the object is the noun who receives the action of the verb. This is also a sentence. Peter is happy. Here I have Peter as a subject and is as a verb, is the verb. But here I don't have one that receives. So this is not an object. It's called complement. The complement, what is the complement? It's a great deal like an object, but it differs in that it does not receive the action of a verb. Instead, it is the subject. So complement can be nouns or adjectives. The key to understanding them is understanding the verbs that they follow. And this is also a sentence. Peter was in the kitchen. So Peter is a subject, noun or pronoun. Was is verb, like verb to be. It's the state of the subject. And this one, in the kitchen, it is called adverbial. Adverb or group of words that tells where or when or why or how the verb happens. So in the kitchen, it tells us where the verb happened. So it's an adverbial. Let's see some more adverbial examples. Peter was a student last year. So last year, it mentioned when. Peter went to New York to visit his aunt. So it mentioned where and why. Peter drives quickly, so it mentioned how does he drive. So the sentence components, we can simplify the basic components of a sentence in the following way. S plus V, it can be O, C, or A. So S subject, V verb, and O object or complement or adverbial. So as we said again, S subject, V verb, and then it can be optional. It can be don't need an O or C or A. What is O, C, or A? O object, C complement, and A adverbial. Here is a new question. In this sentence, Peter ate dinner while he watched TV. What do you think? Yes, this is a sentence. It is the sentence from an earlier slide, which we have seen before. Peter ate dinner, with additional information added. Now we know that Peter was doing two things at once, eating dinner and watching TV. So let's take a look at the components of this new sentence. I have already Peter ate dinner. So we have the original subject Peter with its verb ate and its object dinner. So while he watched TV, this sentence continues with the second subject. This time he, a second verb, watched, and a second object TV. So what do you think about close? Our one sentence is basically two mini sentences held together by the word while. So Peter ate dinner while he watched TV. Mini sentences, units of SV, means subject, verb, object, complement, or adverbial, within a sentence are called clauses. For example, when I say Peter ate dinner while he watched TV, again, the same example. This sentence is composed of two clauses, but we can still add more to this sentence. So I have the first clause, which is Peter ate dinner, and the second clause, while he watched TV. A clause consists of a subject and a verb. There are two types. Independent, this can stand alone as a complete sentence. And subordinate or dependent, this cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Let's have a look over conjunctions. A conjunction connects words or groups of words. I have two types of conjunction. I have a coordinating conjunction, which connect words or groups of words of equal importance in a sentence. I have abbreviation for this, which is fanboys. What does the word fanboy stands for? F stands for for. A stands for and. N stands for nor. B stands for but. O stands for or. Y stands for yet. And S stands for so. So fanboys are these words. The second type of conjunction is a subordinating conjunction. It introduces subordinate clauses that cannot stand alone and join them to independent clause. For example, the band waited. Can it stand alone? No, it needs subordinating conjunction or subordinating clause. So, while the director checking the lightning. The examples for the subordinating conjunction like after, although, as if, as though, because, before, even though, if, in order, that, provided, since, so that. It's not so alone, because if I have so alone, it's going to be coordinating conjunction. Then, unless, until, when, where, whereas, while. The conjunctive adverbs are used to express relationship between independent clauses, like the invention of the transistor radio contributed to the rise of rock and roll. Similarly, the introduction of cable television helped launch music videos. So, conjunctive adverbs, when I use accordingly, also Besides, consequently, finally, furthermore, hence, however, instead, nevertheless, otherwise, similarly, still, therefore, and thus. Here I have a bigger sentence. After exercising, Peter ate dinner while he watched TV. What do you think about this one? In addition to the two clauses we are familiar with this sentence that add words after exercising. The word after exercising work together to give extra information about the clauses, but they do not form a clause, they form a phrase. So this one is called a phrase. After exercising, this is a phrase. The phrase can't stand by itself. It is meaningless if it stands by itself without clauses. Phrase is one way to define a phrase is to say it is a group of words that belong together in terms of meaning, but do not have both a subject and verb. So another way to think of a phrase is to think of how it works within a sentence. When you think of a phrase this way, you can define it as a group of words that act like one word, but it can't stand by itself. I have some phrases, like prepositional phrases. It's a group of words which contains neither a subject nor a verb. As we agreed together, the phrase doesn't have subject or verb. It may, however, contain a verbal form such as an infinitive, a participle, or a gerund. For example, when I say prepositional phrase like in a flash, do you know the meaning of this? It's not a meaningful sentence, but this is called prepositional phrase. She realized that the tofu had been underneath her chair all along. After midnight, Edward mother was on the roof dancing with the Ukrainian bullfighter. So, after midnight, it's a prepositional phrase. It consists of preposition and, for example, a noun, or it can be a time being. About the noun phrase. A noun phrase comprises a noun, obviously, and any associated modifiers, like the long and winding road. So, this is called a noun phrase. It is meaningless. Another noun phrase, the gem at the end of the street. Do you know what is the meaning of this? So this is called a phrase. It acts like a noun. The gem at the end of the street is new, for example. So this is a sentence. But the gem at the end of the street, this is a noun phrase. It functions as the subject of the sentence, and subjects are nouns. Here another phrase which is called a positive. A positive, this is a type of noun phrase that renames or defines the subject or another noun in the sentence. For example, when I say Tracy is my neighbor, she is a stay-at-home mother. So I can say Tracy, a stay-at-home mother, is my neighbor. So this is called a positive phrase. What about the adjective phrase? Mr. Clinton is a man of great wealth. So, here I'm describing Mr. Clinton. So, of great wealth, this part is phrase. So, it's an adjective phrase. The students belong to the tribe dwelling in the hills. So, this dwelling in the hills, it is an adjective phrase. The second phrase at the end of the street can be replaced with a one-word adjective such as large. For example, instead of at the end of the street, I can say large, like the large gem is new. So this replacement of the group of words by one word demonstrates the idea that a phrase is a group of words acting as one word, as we said. At the end of the street, this is group of word. It can act like one word, which is large. Let's have examples on phrases. Phrases are classified by the type of head they take. For example, if I begin with a preposition, so this is a prepositional phrase with a preposition as head. In love over the rainbow. If I'm speaking about noun phrase, it has noun with a noun as a head. It begins with a noun. The black cat, a cat on the mat. So this is noun phrase. If I'm going to speak about verb phrase with a verb as head, eat cheese, jump up and down, then I have adjectival phrase with which is an adjective is the head full of toys, for example. Adverbial phrase with an adverb as head, like very carefully, for example. We have to say that sentences are composed of clauses and phrases. Some sentences have only one clause and no phrase. For example, Peter ate dinner. So it has only one clause. I don't have phrase here. Others have two or more clauses. Like when I say, because Peter ate dinner while he watched TV, he got indigestion. So I have because Peter ate dinner. This is a clause, number one. Then while he watched TV, this is clause 2, and he got indigestion 3, clause 3. I have some sentences have clauses and phrases. For example, if I'm going to speak about this sentence, after exercising at the gym across the street, Peter ate dinner in the kitchen while he watched TV. So, if I'm going to speak about after exercising at the gym across the street, I don't have subject or verb, so this is called phrase. Peter ate dinner, so I have subject, verb, and object, so this is called clause. In the kitchen, if it stands by itself, this is a phrase, a prepositional phrase. While he watched TV, this is a clause.